Hey, my name is Andrew, and today I want to talk about a filmmaking tool that has taken my videos to the next level, and that is this little slider by a company called YC Onion, and I believe this model is called the Chocolate. Weirdest name ever for a filmmaking device, but I assure you this is definitely something you need to check out if you are a budget filmmaker. So let's jump into the review. My YouTube friend Nigel Barros recently recommended this in one of his videos. I picked it up, and after using it, I really fell in love with this little slider. I had been looking for one for a really long time, and on the high end side of things, you could be spending about $300 to $600 on a slider, and on the cheaper end, there were ones that were about $50. I just felt like those ones were pretty cheap quality, so this one kind of meets the middle ground, not the cheapest quality one, but also not the most expensive one. Well, this one here is coming in at about $100. And actually, I'll leave a link in the description for this, and it's on sale, at least when I'm making this video, so definitely check that out. For $100, this definitely fits kind of in the middle of the pack. There are, like I said, more extremely expensive ones, and there are going to be obviously cheaper ones, but I feel like this has a lot of features that even some of the more expensive pro models do not have. And the number one feature that I really love about this slider is that it's so small. It's literally less than a foot long, and it comes in just a little over a pound. So it really doesn't weigh much, and it doesn't take up a lot of room in like a camera bag or even a sling bag. The other thing is the materials. This thing is made out of metal mostly. Now this thing is like belt driven, so there is a rubber belt, but in this kit it does come with an additional belt in case the other one that comes with it gets stretched or breaks in transportation. So it does come with a spare, which I think is a great addition to this kit. But let's talk about how this slider works. So it is a manual slider, so there's no fancy app you pair up with it and push a button and it slides on its own. I feel like one of my concerns was I wouldn't be able to get it to slide smooth enough just by manually pushing it, but this thing has resistance on it, so you can't just push it really quickly. Like, I'm pushing it pretty hard and it's only going that smoothly and that slowly. This thing is definitely capable of getting some really smooth shots just by pushing it manually, and that's gonna save you a lot of money. So yeah, so basically this thing on the bottom of it has a mount for like a tripod. It does come with these little feet, so you can set it on a tabletop, but whenever it's sitting on the tabletop, you only have the length of the slider, which is about 9.5 inches. So as soon as you put it on a tripod, you suddenly have all this distance that you normally wouldn't have if it was just sitting on a tabletop. So that's definitely gonna have a much further reach, and I think in a lot of scenarios you don't really need a super long distance. You just wanna have enough to get a little depth to your shots, whether that's forward, backwards, or even some angles. If you're using a tripod, you can definitely get some pretty sweet angles. It does come with a little level on the top. It has two little knobs on either side. One of them is to lock it down, so if you twist it all the way to the lock side, it doesn't move very well. So if you're transporting it and you don't want it to move, you really have to tighten it down, but then it's not going anywhere. And then on the other side, you have a plus and a minus, which is going to increase or decrease the tension on it. So if you want it to be harder to push and get those smoother shots, or if you want it to go quicker, you can adjust that on this side. So there's really not a lot to this slider. It's very simple to use. The only other thing I'll mention is the top. Here, this is a 3/8 thread. I would recommend getting a ball head swivel because you get a lot more angle. You can adjust it to get a better angle on your shot. And also the thread isn't going to be the same as like a regular camera thread. Those are typically quarter threads. So that's what the top of this is here. And then you have a slider that's gonna get you some really professional results. I just used it at a wedding recently, and I think having the ability to get some extra shots that you normally wouldn't be able to handheld, this really is gonna up the quality of your videos for clients, for YouTube videos. I know I'm gonna be using this a lot for showing off products in my reviews. So this is definitely a big upgrade for me. I've looked at a lot of sliders, and I think this is probably one of the best options. So recommend checking it out if you don't own a slider. This is really gonna up the production of your videos, and it's not gonna cost a whole lot, and it's also super portable. So all those features really make it a must-have to me. And so if you do want to check it out, like I said, there's a link in the description. But that is it for this review. If you guys have enjoyed, I'd appreciate it if you leave a like. And if you have any comments or questions at all, leave them in the comment section below. And if you want to see other budget filmmaking and photography reviews, consider subscribing. And if you do, I'll see you in the next video.